What's going on, guys? Leaf right here. Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the Canon R6 120 frames per second in 1080p, whether it's a good option to use and whether it's any good, whether you should just bypass and just always use the 4K 60 frames per second for slow motion. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Alright guys, welcome back. So like I said earlier, we're going to be discussing the Canon R6 and the 120 frames per second in 1080p and whether you should even bother using this if you need slow-mo for your video project. And there's a lot of videos out there saying that the Canon R6 1080p 120 frames per second isn't very good. And they say it's soft and it's not sharp and it's noisy and pretty much every bad thing you can think about they have put out there and said it's not that good, and I respectfully disagree. Now let me put a disclaimer on this. Is it great? No, it's not great. Is it Sony A7S 3 levels of 120 frames per second at 4K? No, not even close. But it is good enough to use in your video project if you need some spots of super slow-mo. I've used it on several shoots that I've done for clients and just for personally myself, and the client shoots, there's been no complaints, nothing like, oh, this is the Canon R6 1080p 120 frames per second. No, take this out. This is ugly. This is horrible. No, I've never had anyone say that. And when I've fit it in with my other clips, it's gone in there very seamlessly, and you're not going to be able to pixel peep unless you blow it up huge and just sit there and take the time to just look at it and try to compare it to each and every frame on the video, then which none of us have time to do that. But no, it fits in very well. It works good. It does its job. If you need some super slow-mo clips, it works. Now here's some things I would say to take into account if you have the Canon R6 and you are interested in using 120 frames per second. I would probably, I've been able to get some good quality shots with the 120 frames per second in C-Log 3, but you have to expose it perfectly. If you mess up exposure even just a little bit, from what I've seen, what I've noticed in just my personal use case, you will have noise. Beware, if you are going to do 120 frames per second 1080p on the Canon R6 in C-Log 3, be very mindful of your exposure. You have to definitely take that into account. Make sure you have plenty of light coming in, because it's not very forgiving, that from what I've seen. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, I don't know, but in times when I haven't exposed it good and it's just like just a little bit off it, the image just does have a lot of noise in it. Another workaround that I've done is not even use the C-Log 3 or C-Log. I just shoot it in a neutral profile. And I've noticed with a lot of the shoots that I've done that just not putting in C-Log and just doing it in the neutral profile, it actually comes out looking a lot better in my opinion. And you can still kind of bump it around, kind of, manipulate the shadows and highlights and a little bit of color just to kind of, tweak it a little bit, and it's fitting really well with a lot of things that I have used it for. So that would be my recommendation. Just with the 1080p 120 frames per second, the Canon R6, maybe just don't even put in C-Log and just do it like a neutral, standard, or whatever picture profile you want. I believe you're just going to get a lot better results. That's been my personal experience. But overall, like I said, it's not amazing, but it's not awful. It's not this shitty codec that you can use that you cannot use because it's just doesn't hold together, just doesn't look good. I disagree with that narrative. I think it has that spots where you can use it, and if you're wise as far as the exposure and the picture profile that you're using for this frame rates, this resolution, I think you can actually use it and it work really well. Like I said, it's not amazing, but it's good. It's not shitty like some people put it out there like it is. It can definitely be used in some of your projects, in my humble opinion. So I just want to make a quick video talking about this because I've seen several videos like that where the Canon R6 needs an upgrade on the 120 frames per second, and maybe it does down the road, because I'm not sure if the R6 Mark II, if it's still the same or if it's a little bit better. I know I gave it a bump to 180 frames per second, but I don't know if the quality is any different or not. I've never used it, so I can't really speak on that. Maybe someone can comment down below and let me know if that's the case or not. But again, I think it's good for the use case that you could probably use. I use 60 frames per second in 4K more for slow motion, but when I want those spots where it's just nice, slow, and just you get that nice buttery smooth slow motion, I've used it and it's worked great. So don't be afraid to put your camera, if you have the R6, in 120 frames per second and get some super slow-mo in your clips, and don't worry about, oh, this is going to look like crap. Just mind your exposure, make sure you expose it properly. If you are going to do C-Log 3, you still have to expose it good if you are not doing C-Log, because that's just, you know, part of having a camera. You need to have proper exposure when you're doing the video or photo, so you'll take that into account. But yeah, so that's my rant on the Canon R6 1080p 120 frames per second. You can definitely use it. So anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys the next time I make a video. Have a good one.